Hello, everybody. This is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank immigration advisor who advises people like yourself about education and migration to New Zealand. I have been in this industry for many, many years now, and I absolutely love sharing my information and knowledge as a licensed immigration advisor. One of the questions that I received recently was I'm planning to study a business course in New Zealand, and how will this help me in my future career and settlement in New Zealand? So, my first question to this prospective student was what is your background? And he said he was 23 years of age and that he had completed his graduation about a year and a half ago. And then, since the year from then, he was preparing to go overseas by writing exams like the IELTS and PTA and such, English exams, he was getting ready for it. So I said, so what course are you choosing in New Zealand in terms of business? And he said, sir, I'm planning to come for a graduate diploma in, business from one of the institutions in Auckland. So I said, okay. So I said, who suggested this course to you? And he said, no, I'm going to an agent in my town, and this guy has been recommending that I go for this business course. I said, okay, great. So do you know what are the papers in this course? He was like, so what is that? And I was like, so what papers will you cover in this course? And he drew a bit of a blank about that. And I said, all right, that's fine. So what is your work experience after your studies in your own country? And he said, no, I don't have any work experience. So I said, so in what way do you expect this course will be useful to you? And he said, no, my agent told me that, if I study this course, I will get a 1 year post-study work visa, and that, it is quite easy to find jobs after I complete my studies and get into the post-study work visa. And once I get a job, I'll be able to get points to, apply for resident visa in New Zealand and stay on in New Zealand permanently. Now, technically, what the agent said is not wrong, because that is exactly how the system has been designed. The system has been designed that international students can come here and they can study for a year at a particular level, and once they complete that course successfully, yes, they are entitled to a post-study work visa. And in that 1 year, of course, they can pick up a job, and if they pick up that job, they will be able to translate into a permanent residency. But the key word there is the job, because if we take the example of this young person, I mean, this guy is 23 years of age. He has no prior experience. His English was average. He might have scored the required level in IELTS to come and study here, but when I was talking to him, his English was pretty average, and no experience, no confidence, no real life work experience. So I mean, yeah, sure, he will come here and he will do a course in one of the institutions, and probably end up with a graduate diploma or even a postgraduate diploma in business. But he is absolutely not job ready to actually go out into the job market and find a job for himself. That is the reality, however harsh it is. So this guy will come here, he will study, he will get his post-study work visa, and after he gets that, he will go start looking out for jobs. And the fact is, nobody will even consider him, because you have to bear in mind that not only is it international students like yourself who are coming here, but there are hundreds and thousands of local New Zealand graduates who come out of universities every year, and these guys are competing for the same jobs as well. And business in itself is not in our skill shortage area. The government comes out with something called the long-term skill shortage area, because those are the skills that we need here in this country. And we understand that students will come and students would like to stay back here in this country, and but we would like to attract them into an area where we have a shortage of skills. Like, to give a simple example, if I am the manager or owner of a cricket team, and I get applications from 8 wicket keepers. What am I going to do with 8 wicket keepers when my requirement is maybe for just 2 wicket keepers? Because I need one main wicket keeper and a standby wicket keeper. But there's always a need for me for my skill shortage area is because my batting might be weak, I need more batsmen, or if my bowling is weak, I might need more bowlers, so on and so forth. So likewise, the government has come up with a list called the long-term skill shortage area, and business is not in that. So when you're not in that skill shortage area, I mean, yeah, sure, there are a lot of jobs that are available in the business sector, but as I said earlier in this video, you simply do not have the experience or the life skills or the work experience and the real life or the English ability for that matter to be actually able to go and stake a very strong claim for that job. So students are coming here under the impression that they can finish that course and get any job in business, and that somehow creates the pathway for residency. Unfortunately, it does not work like that, because even if you do get a job in business, it has to be at a particular level, it has to be at a particular designation, it has to have a particular salary component, and only then immigration department will say, okay, this guy is now in skilled employment. So if a lot of students call me up and say, sir, I found a job in Subway as an assistant manager, can I now apply for my PR? I mean, that's a very ordinary mid-level or even a frontline level kind of a job, which is not a skill that is in shortage here in our country. Now, take the example of another student who came here recently, also a 23-year-old. Now, this guy came here and he did a course in 3D animation. And what he did was that after he completed the course, he struggled as well, like everybody. He didn't have a job come and fall into his lap immediately. He studied and he completed his course. He created a good contact network while he was in college, applied for a job and found job as a 3D animator, and he got his residency because I helped him to get that residency. Now the difference, if you look at it, same thing, 23 years old, not great English, but the what he had as compared to this other guy was that he had a technical skill. Now, business is a more generic skill. When I say business, we're talking about administration, you're talking about HR, you're talking about sales and marketing, and talking about finance and things like that. Those skills are not in shortage here in this New Zealand, in New Zealand. So, but whereas skills like 3D animation and film animators and possibly graphic designers and engineers and health professionals and IT professionals and chefs. These are some of the people who are in the long-term skill shortage area. So when you are young, when you are inexperienced, and you do not have adequate experience or English skills to come here, you're basically setting yourself up for failure when you come here on a business diploma. And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of young people who have a good solid degree like a BTech or a BE. Even those guys are ending up joining in diplomas or in business, which is absolutely deviating them from their beautiful technical path, because they should actually be adhering to that technical path, which is their core competency. But these guys are getting deviated. And the easiest thing to say is, no, but my agent blamed me. My agent misled me and made me do this. I mean, and my answer to that is, what about your own intelligence? You live in the information era. You are a guy who's probably 24/7 on Facebook and Twitter and all these other online platforms. Why can't you spend 2-3 hours and do your own research? It is not very easy to go and type long term what are the skills in shortage in New Zealand, or what are the jobs available in New Zealand. It's not very difficult. So if you are going to rely on an incompetent agent somewhere sitting in a small little office in a small town somewhere and setting yourself up for failure, frankly, more than the incompetency of the agent, I think it is the incompetency of your own intelligence as well. So you need to be very careful. And the only people to who I recommend a business course is somebody who's got at least 4-5 years of experience in business, who has excellent English skills, and who's got the confidence to finish that course and go out into the job market and stake a claim for that. And not as an assistant manager or a rapper in Subway or McDonald's. I'm talking about somebody who can go and say, hey, look, I have the 6-7 years of work experience. I have been working in client servicing or HR or finance. These are my credentials from my previous work, and this is my certificate that I recently completed my graduate diploma or postgraduate diploma from a good institution here in New Zealand. And I sit here in front of you and I stake my claim for this position, because this is the value I can bring to your organization. Now, that person, I have no problem in recommending a business course. But the other guys, all you young guys who are just out of college and thinking that somehow a diploma in business is a pathway to future migration in New Zealand, I think you need to be very careful. And what I recommend is meet a good counselor. And in all my videos, I keep coming back to the fact that you need to have a good counselor. A good counselor who will probably give you a whack on your head and say, why are you letting go of that beautiful technical degree you have and you're moving into something called business, about which you have absolutely no clue. So in fact, we as a company, that is AJV Migration, we like to talk to each and every one of you, understand who you are, understand what are your strengths and weaknesses, understand where your future aspirations are, and then put you into the right course which will set you up and maximize the ability to find a resident visa here in New Zealand. So I would say, do not be foolish young people. Do not just go to some vague guy who says, "Oh, I know all about New Zealand, and I will put you into a course which will give you a post-study work visa and which will give you job and which will give you residency." Because technically he is not wrong. Who is going wrong is you, because you're deviating from your core skill, a skill that we require here. So you have a skill in electronics or IT or computing or engineering. You're letting go of that and you're coming here and shifting to something called business, which is not in our skill shortage area. But if you are somebody who has a technical background, but eventually went on and did some work in business areas, and you are able to convince people like me and say, "Hey, look, I can sit and stake a claim in business side as well," then definitely I would say, yeah, go for it. But otherwise, I strongly recommend all these young people coming for business diplomas to be very, very careful. Talk to us, give us send us an email, connect with us on Facebook, talk to us, and we will sit and understand and tell you. And if you're not ready to come to New Zealand, we will tell you that as well, honestly. Because sometimes you're also being so desperate to come to a foreign country and create a life that you're making silly choices. And the easiest thing then is to blame the agent and say, "Oh, but this fellow did not give me the right guidance." Nobody, that fellow is there to sit and make money out of you. So he's obviously trying to, take the easiest path out as well. So be careful, talk to people like us, send us an email, we'll be happy to talk to you. And I wish you all the very best in your decision to come to New Zealand. And if you're the right person who will benefit New Zealand, we will absolutely help you to come here and create a future for yourself. Thanks for listening to my videos. Please post your comments below or about this video, wherever I'm going to upload this video. But do stay in touch and continue to ask me questions. I'll be happy to give honest, free, frank information and put some humor into it as well. Thank you very much and have a great day.